KD, can he be the best player on a championship team?
That's the real question?
Yeah, I hope you answer it honestly, too.
It's Kevin, wait. Can Kevin Durant be the best?
I can answer if you need help.
Absolutely. Kevin Durant, you can go first. Because I'm blown away that people think, I don't know what people think, because people don't, they know he can.
He think.
Oh, you think? Let's hear it. Yeah, this is crazy. Kevin Durant is one of the best players the game's ever seen.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, let's hear this.
Kevin Durant, I would suggest, is the top 15 player in basketball.
Something like that.
I think Kevin Durant is one of the greatest individual scorers we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
One of the greatest ISO players we've ever seen. I think Kevin Durant, with his size, with his handle, with his ability to shoot the ball, it is top tier. I also do not think Kevin Durant can be the best player on a championship team. I would go as far as to say Kevin Durant has never been the best player on a championship team. For those that wanted to argue that Kevin Durant was the best player on that Warriors championship team, I've done a little further digging. You all know me. I'm a nerd when it comes to this basketball stuff. The Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, they were 192-64, winning percentage phenomenal, 75%. But with Steph Curry during that stretch, they were 199-54, 78%. During that stretch of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, when Kevin Durant did not play 36-14, but when Steph Curry did not play 29-24. So you're telling me that Steph Curry was more valuable throughout the course of that run than Kevin Durant? Okay, but the finals, Acho, when it mattered most. Yeah, if you're lazy and you just look at points individually, but what about points accounted for? Points scored and assisted on. You're telling me Steph Curry had more than 200 points more than Kevin Durant accounted for? So not just what Kevin Durant was scoring or Steph Curry was scoring, but what they were helping everybody else score. The last thing I'll say is this. Who gets better when they play with Kevin Durant? Not Devin Booker. Who gets better when they play with Kevin Durant? Not Bradley Beal. Who gets better when they play with Kevin Durant? Not James Harden. Who gets better when they play with Kevin Durant? Not Kyrie Irving. So can Kevin Durant be the best player on a championship team? I would go as far as to say he's never been. So why do I think he would start now? He won't.
You want me to double down on that?
Please, sir.
I can't double down on it, but yes, he can be. Yes,
absolutely.
He can be. Yes, he can be the best player, but it has to be a team that's already in the hunt. All right? The cooking on the accounted for. I want to know how many of those Steph Curry points that he accounted for did KD provide. That's what I want to know. I want to know how much was he getting from everybody else. If he went to Dallas, for example, he could he would be their best player, right? Fair? He could potentially win a ring there. Cleveland, go back to Golden State. Minnesota, I would say he would be the best player on all those teams, and they could potentially win a championship. All right? So I think it has to be the right circumstance. For me, the best place for him to go would actually be Denver, and then I would say that he's probably the second best player. But that's another matter. I just think it's in the right circumstance because he's 37. Because he's a scorer, but he's still an elite scorer.
Oh, my God.
Sure, of course.
And there are teams that need that, and by that definition, I could say he's the best player on that team. So, yes, I think the same formula that won championships in Golden State could potentially be the same formula again.
Here's the dilemma, though, James. Yeah. The dilemma is very simple. Players do not get better that play with Kevin Durant. There's a 10, 12, 16-year sample size that suggests if you play with Kevin Durant, you're not the best version of yourself. You can ask Russell Westbrook himself. Devin Booker got worse.
Okay.
Bradley Beal got exponentially worse.
I'm ready now.
So if you play with Kevin Durant, you're just not the best version of yourself. So if Kevin Durant were to join a Nuggets team and Jamal Murray were still to be Jamal Murray, but what data and experience suggests is Jamal would get worse and Jokic would get worse. That's just what it suggests, Lick. That's just what it suggests. That's just what Devin Booker was an all-NBA first-team caliber player. Was he this year? Bradley Beal was a third-team All-NBA caliber player. Was he this year? Jump in wherever you want to jump in.
So this is the thing, though, right? And I don't want to. The lazy thing to say is we hating on Kevin Durant. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that because I know how great he is. I know that, and I know how deep inside you know how great he is.
I said that. Right?
So
I spent my first 30 seconds saying that.
Real quick though, I think the thing with Kevin Durant. Now, first I'll answer the question. Yes, he can. He's that great. Okay, and the Warriors is my team. You know that. And when he played for the Warriors, he was the best player on the Warriors team. Right? Year before that. When we played the Cavs and we lost, Draymond made that call in the parking lot. I ain't wait till I got home in the parking lot. Yo, we need you because there's a point where we need somebody to go out there and score. Off the rip. We need a winner. We need you. That's why they went to go get him, right? He didn't go begging the Warriors. The Warriors was begging him. That's one thing. Number two is The easy thing to do is blame Kevin Durant. When I say that, I mean, when he went to the Nets, right? Kyrie Irving and James Harden was there, right? So I think the problem is when you have a guy that's so great like Kevin Durant, I think people take a step back we know he can carry it. Because the same Kyrie Irving that played with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, I didn't see that same Kyrie Irving that played with Luka that went to the finals. I didn't see that same Kyrie Irving that played with LeBron. James Harden, the same James Harden that played with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn, I didn't see that same James Harden when he played with Kawhi Leonard. I didn't see that, right? So Booker, another one. The same Booker I see play with Chris Paul, I didn't see that same him when he played with Kevin Durant with the Suns. So when I say all that, I'm saying I think sometimes when you have somebody that's so good that it takes some part, I don't need to go that hard because I got him over there. That's the truth.
Here's why I hate what Shady is saying.
That's the truth.
Because
you watched it.
No.
Because even on the last thing, even with the Brooklyn Nets, for example, the same dude I seen with Kyrie with Mavs, Kyrie wasn't playing sometimes, not even for basketball-related things.
Here's why I hate what Shady is saying. Because when I look across at a dude like Giannis, Chris Middleton was the best version of himself with Giannis. Drew Holiday was the best version of himself with Giannis. Go look at home. Chris Middleton did not make an all-star team. Chris Middleton played in the league for 9 years. He didn't make an all-star team until Giannis became an MVP. Go look. Do your research. Google it. Drew Holiday, best version of himself. So it's not as though everybody sees other great players and all of a sudden they relax, because Giannis is a great player too, top 15 player all time, I would suggest. But Giannis shows up and everybody gets better.
So how great is Giannis now, though?
That happen?
See, this is the problem with these arguments, though. Because now if I ask him about Dame Lillard, who's so great, they say if they get Dame, oh, my God.
Dame was hurt, 2-5. He was hurt.
Every year's hurt every year.
No, he was hurt this year. The Bucks won the playoffs. I don't know where Kevin Durant and the Suns were.
We said championship.
Okay.
The argument's championship, right? But you're not going to say that.
What you mean?
Because I watched Giannis is so great. He's been underachieving lately, right? He's so great.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't won a playoff game in a while.
But when it's about Giannis, you're not as loud. But I've noticed every time it's Kevin Durant, you get super loud. You take the whole block over. And I'm like, yo, what's going on here? I really want to know, because if you put Bradley Beal, another one. Now, let's say they don't play well together. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin, they don't play well. But you're not as loud about how bad he looked. Couldn't guard nobody.
Sure.
Ain't making the open shots, but you're not loud about, let's keep going there, because I'm seeing something with this Kevin Durant topic.
What are you seeing?
Right? And then Devin Booker, as great as he was, they're an isolation team. That's who they are. When it's time for you to score a certain way, you wasn't doing that. And I did not once hear you say anything about Devin Booker not scoring. But it comes to Kevin Durant, I don't know what it is about it. You don't never have nothing to say about nobody else other than Kevin Durant.
Here's why.
It's kind of crazy, too.
Here's why. Because I believe, this is where you and I differ, I believe the job of a best player in any sport, in any show, in anything, is to make everybody around them better. I do not think the job of a best player is only to be great. I believe the job of a best player, I believe the job of a best host, I believe the job of a best CEO, I believe the job of a best founder is to make everybody around you better. It's not just about you. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, and based upon all his years, he doesn't make people around him better, and that has always bothered me.
Can I ask you a question?
This is crazy.
Because with Kevin Durant, I can understand making everybody around him better if you need somebody to make you around him better. What I mean, like if you're a shooter, you need Kevin Durant to penetrate and kick you the ball to help you be better. But how does he got to help Devin Booker be better when he's a walking bucket? How do you help Kyrie Irving be better when he's a walking bucket?
Tell me, James.
How do you help James Harden be better when he's a walking bucket? With them dudes, it's give me the ball and I make myself better. So why are we blaming that on KD? Now, like I say, if you are a shooter and you can't go off the dribble, that's different.
I never believe it's just about the sport. I believe it's also about the mind behind the sport. I believe it's what you said about Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Jay, you just being out there is going to help us. And what'd you say? I suited up. So it's not just about what you do on the field.
So now you're going leadership?
Yes, I've always wanted that, but that's just me. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.